Make sure the wires face towards the rear. Double check your screw length so that it doesn't stick out too much, or you'll be grounding the coils or touching the coils. Nobody wants to short these motors. I've made these holes are tapered. It's called a countersunk fit. I'm not sure why they supply all these screws as a countersunk. So, well, straight out of the packet, now you can use the countersunk screws. You're gonna be very careful. It's not touching in there, but just double check every time. You want the wires to face backwards so that when it crashes, you won't be crashing into the wires. Same goes with the rear. Just reduces the chance. I mean, the mass of these things are very little, so it should be fine either way. There you go. Motors installed. Make sure they spin freely, which they should. It's going to be flexible here until you put the FC in. So we're going to transfer this FC from my previous build with a 1306. I wear these goggles because I've got something wrong with my eyes from the surgery, in case you're wondering. Make sure you don't hold the iron on there for too long. These components are rather sensitive. Especially small ESCs, they can be damaged really easily. There's not a lot of material to take away the temperature. I'm just going to desolder everything for now. I'll be cutting everything to the exact length I require. That's done. I need that. Just gonna make sure you check for any solder tabs that might be joined from the soldering. I use an Aussie ghetto method of getting the solders out. You don't really need to do this. I just like to remove it so I can see clearly what's touching or what's not. I hope this FC still works. It's been with me for a very long time. Isopropyl alcohol and give it a clean. I'm gonna have to make sure the solder doesn't come all the way to the holes. I'm not sure if you're meant to do this to electronics, but since I've started building quads a couple of years back, I haven't actually killed electronics this way. Usually it's due to my own clumsiness, shorting these components. That looks like a decent clean. There you go, fresh as new. Can give it another spray if you like, but it's my little trick. Alright, just checking if the traces are touching. I got this from eBay. Just a diamond kind of tool. It looks good. So let's see how it fits. This actually comes with pre-threaded 3D printing threads. Now that's it's a bit hard to achieve, so you got to be very gentle with the 3D printed threads. They save you weight by removing any sort of extra nuts, but they're very delicate. They're very fine. 3D printing is kind of doesn't work well with these very little scales. But I've been doing 3D prints for a very long time, and I've got a little bit of a couple of tricks in making it work. Just be very gentle with it, those threads. Now, I've designed it for this FC. Request welcome for any FCs you might want to use. The Femto is coming one of the future ones, but I like this one. It's got mounting holes, so it makes it easier. You really should be flying with a smaller board if you're flying a micro. They're only about $20, I think. There you go. The USB hole fits perfectly. That's good. Alright. Now I'm just fitting this because I believe I want to solder certain parts on there before dropping this in. I've also designed this. I mean, there's FreeSky XM and XM Plus receivers coming out for these micros. Official FreeSky, very good. Meant to be good range. But when I designed this, I wanted to accommodate a full telemetry sort of receiver. So this cavity here actually lets you fit a full telemetry X4R or XSR. They all fit. Here's my X4R, coming from another one, which uses a KISS FC. The latest beta flights are very good. KISS is also good. Too bad they're not making it small enough. Alright. Scarf is out of the way. And here we go. It should fit nicely. Goes right in. Might want to flip this, cut the heat shrink and flip it the other way around, but it's a perfect fit. Very, very small. The frame, I think it's meant to weigh about 8 grams, but there's powder inside it. My scale actually shows even lighter than 8 grams. Let me get a similar frame and show it. There you go, that's a similar frame. Actually exactly the same thing, except it mounts the motors inverted to get the propellers completely out of the view. Inverted is very good if you don't want to see propellers at all, but a lot of frames on the market do still have the propellers in view. I don't find it a big issue. It kind of looks cool, to be honest. But if you have it inverted as opposed to the normal standard, it won't really take off from grass. But when you drop a Mini into the ground, you shouldn't be really trying to take off anyway. If it's far enough that you don't want to walk there, you'll be burning out your motors because these things are so little. Anyway, for those of you without discipline, use this one. Gets the prop out of the view very nicely. Well, depending on your angle, it drops the propellers a lot more. Maintains a good CG with the battery. Won't be really much of a problem. We've done a special, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say yet, special craft which had CGs way out of whack, but flew really well still. So here it is, the scale. So let me tear it. Good. Oh, 8 grams. This one's exactly 8 grams. Yeah, they're meant to weigh 8 grams. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Maybe it's a bit more. 8 grams. So they're extremely light. There's baffles inside of these arms. Kind of like a little ship. There's more compartments than a Titanic. thanks to 3D printing. That's pretty cool. So what's next? The ESCs, I guess. I am using these little 6M ESCs. They're amazingly cheap. That's the only reason I'm using them. Oh, another reason is the weight. I think the KISS 18 amp, 12 amps, they're all very lightweight. The little bees are a bit bigger. You see the little bees are actually a little bigger. Also, the Acon SEFM 20 amps are very tiny. You can compare them to the little bees. They're very, very small. These also work really well, which is coming in one of my future crazy builds. It's going to be a 4S micro craft. But don't hold your breath. I'd like to go through these little current projects one by one. There you go, they look very nice. I'm not sure if I like the sticker. Does the cooling matter? I'm not too sure. The amperage is so low. So it's designed to be right here. These wires just go right there. And then go to their respective solder points. So getting the ESCs out. I've actually never read the manual. Pretty sure they're not needed. Or use YouTube, right? These wires are a bit thick. I usually use thinner wires, but since they're already on there, oh, what the hell. I like these thinner wires. They're temperature tolerant, they're silicone wires and they're thinner. Since they're already on there, let's remove those labels. Maybe get better cooling, maybe not needed. What is this one read? It says if you rip it, warranty is void. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's test the screw threads. I can't emphasize this enough. These 3D printed screw threads are awesome. You don't need a nut on the other end of this, but you just got to be careful with it. There you go, they work. Perfect. I've played a lot with the tolerances of these. The material comes oversized a little and this is just right. Excellent. Don't put a steel thread in there, steel screw in there and trying to tighten the hell out of it. It will just rip the plastic. Oh boy. There it is. Okay, so let's just fit the battery over it. There you go, here's the battery. Oh well, that's a bit short. It's not a problem. Anyway, these two batteries are the ones I'm using. This one's really good. I just clip the main power outputs and use this for charge and discharge. When you cut these, when you cut the original bits off, it becomes so light. It's actually 1 gram more than this one, and you see the capacity is a little more on this. That's why I would say this one's the recommended one. It's very nice. Goes on there. Perfect. So it's designed to put a battery there, and the sides are meant for your wires to run through. Not these wires, the ESC wires. Yeah, they go well, so it's gonna go in like this. I think I've also designed it so that the tabs are on the sides as well. Just make sure you check the rotation in beta flight, clean flight, race flights configurators. I've rotated it and put it upside down just so that you can access the soldering. Yes, it goes in the side. So when it goes in the side, the batteries go right on. Excellent. So we're just going to remember the positions. With these low amperages, we don't really need that little ground wire. There you go. Just clip it out. Come on. You don't need it. Alright. We don't need this. I keep it for later. Don't clip the wrong one. Back then, I'm not an expert on this, but the controller used to drop on voltage on high current setups, and you need this ground wire to be connected. But these things are barely gonna draw a couple of amps, so it's fine. I believe very strongly I'll be fine here. If you can't be bothered, you can take this apart and solder your own extra thin 32 AWG silicone wires. They'll be nicer. I normally use them. Oh, this is therapeutic. Here it is. Okay. So we're just gonna see how it fits. The front two are gonna be a little longer. It goes right in there. Right there. Don't make it too difficult for yourself. Give it a little slack. It just gets really annoying if you make it too short. You have to resolder wires on there. Yeah, this guy will do fine. A little too long. A little too long. I'd laugh if I already made this too short. Nah, it's good. Yeah, I made it a little too short already. But that's okay. The rear two do need to be a little shorter. That's fine. So just copy this guy over. And that will be for the rear ones. And this one will be a front motor. Remember, the front one, we want it a little longer. I honestly think these wires are overkill already. What are they? 22 AWG. Yeah, I think 24 AWG will do nicely. The silicone types. Yep. Very well. So that's a front one. Copy this bloke over here. Alright. These are the front ones. Why don't we just mark them? Where's my pen? F for front. Just front. Nothing else. Okay. Let's skin these guys. Don't need to strip off too much wire. Someone once told me 1.5 times the length of the wire, the width of the wire is enough to create a good joint. Kind of a nerd's bro science. Okay. Solder flux, my favorite stuff. They magically let you solder stuff without needing much heat at all. For those of you who just joined me, I wear a goggle because I've got an eye complication from a surgery. In case you're thinking I'm weird. Alright. Absolutely therapeutic. Okay. So where are our front ones? It's a rear, it's a front. These two are fronts, these two are rears. So which way do we have it? That's the front. That's the front end now. So take this guy out. I'm sure you got it the right way around. These wires are going to go straight up and out, so why don't we just solder them vertically, eh? This time, I'm going to solder the small one first. Is that a rear? Yeah, that's a rear. That's a rear. Nice and clean. So this one will go to the back. This way. Yeah. This will go to the front. This will go to the front right there. Alright. You want them low profile so that you can fit the receiver on there without an issue later on. Anyway, this should work nicely. This is done. Alright, so that's done. The receiver goes in there. I don't like the thick wires here, but I need to get the smart port out of this one. My good old X4R. You can of course use any of the smaller receivers out there nowadays. DSMX, you've got 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter ones. You've got satellites, orange satellites, spectrum satellites. They all fit. Anything smaller than this, which is pretty much anything on the market these days, will go in there very nicely. Yeah, there you go. Which one is the smart port connection? So this one is the smart port. Yeah, that's the analog. Okay. Now it's time for me to show off my super slim, awesome cables. These guys are a lot more flexible. My iron won't melt the shielding. It's much nicer overall. very cramped, very nice. So, which way did I have it? So you want to go this way, and we will, whoopsie daisy. You want to go this way because I've put these little antenna holders for you. So they will be sticking out like this under the blade. It will never touch the blade, and you can pull them out a bit more. It's got some powder in there at the moment. Yeah, gonna have to clean out the powder. And you've got a 90-degree separation between the antennas. I'll take these guys off. So look, it works. So probably be putting it facing down. No, it's easier facing up, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. This will go right under there. Do some flux. Okay, so that's a ground, power. Ground, power. What does it say here? Ground, power, RC. So from the top, ground, power, RC. Okay, what else do we need? The buzzer. Yes, there's the buzzer. Put the buzzer on this side so it can go through to the top. Trust me. Okay, what else do we need? Got the LiPo input. LiPo input. What else? LiPo, ESCs, receiver, buzzer. We've soldered this little bundle of joy together, and now we're going to put the screws in there. You will be tempted to only put 2 screws onto your FC, but to save weight, the structural integrity partly also comes from the FC itself. Okay, now let's just see how long a screw we need. We can cut it once it's on there. Please be very gentle with the screws. They're 3D printed. They work and they will save you weight. I'm putting brass inserts or having a nut on the other side. Space saving. But you just gotta be gentle with them. No metal screws in there, please. It's not nice. This is why I like this tiny little FC. It's actually got mounting screws. The fento that's actually coming out, it's even smaller. It's very nice. Got a proper back on it, but oh, that's right. I need a back. I'll tap a little back out of there. One note about this 3D printed materials, you can't really use heat shrink. The heat gun will just melt the plastic, just cause it to go out of shape. Guess how I know? So when soldering to the pads, you gotta be extra careful. So we don't need these excess. Oh Jesus, that's violet. Oh. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, now it's a lot stronger. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Good thing about these 3D printed materials is when it gets to such a small scale, it's actually strong enough. With the bigger ones, you have to use a lot of material to make it strong enough. Alright, with these motor wires, we also want a bit of slack so that it's not too difficult for ourselves later on. Cut them to whatever length you like, don't make them too short. It's not going to save you much weight. This wire is very thin. If your iron touches the plastic, it's just going to melt right through it. Be careful. The motor's temperature won't melt it. It's going to take about 200 degrees or so, I think. 180 degrees before the plastic starts to melt. Alright, let's fix these ESCs on there. I'm going to use hot glue to fix the ESCs on there. Don't use too much hot glue. It's all weight. Okay, so ESC goes, and this one can go right here. Yeah. Alright, that's not going anywhere. Do not touch the plastic. If you're not comfortable with this, use glue or wrap the ESCs with just the electrical tape onto the arms. Don't burn the plastic. Again, if you're not comfortable doing this, don't do it. Just use the electrical tape or some sort of a foam glue, you know, the weak Yoo-hoo type glues. Those glues are not permanent and you can just rip it off very easily. And try not drop the glue into the holes. Once it goes into the holes, it becomes dead weight. Right after you use this as your makeshift glue gun, you need to coat it. Be careful with the heat. Too much heat and you've got a dead ESC. Oh boy, the motor's wide. Yeah. It's all wired. Yeah, that works. Go into Banggood and get yourself one of these. I'm using this little guy. I broke this one out of a little ducky standard antenna. Yep, fits well. Don't put too much heat while you're soldering this little guy on, otherwise it wicks all the solder up and it becomes really stiff. You want it to be flexible. I believe you can buy these antennas, buy these transmitters with the little one on there. I think they're called QX70 Eachine spare parts. Cameras. Yep, clean joint. goes on like so. Your buzzer goes up here. I want to tuck this over here to get out of the way. This goes in there later. There's your antenna holders. I believe this is a rather shallow 30-degree angle. You can change the angle by putting a drop of hot glue there and putting it at a different angle. I'm gonna fix this with the rubber band. There's your battery strap. Comes in 3 shell sizes. I believe there's a 2mm, 1.5 and a 1.2mm. The 1.2mm weighs about 3.8 grams, 3.5. So it covers all your components. And I personally like the thinner ones because mini quads don't carry a lot of micro quads don't carry a lot of momentum. This one is just it's a bit of an overkill. There's your buzzer cavity. Go right there. Camera goes right there. This is probably too long, you might want to chop it and give it a new active element. 2.4 gigahertz antennas. Length is 3. Centimeters, you'll be good. Probably better to have done it after pulling it out. So there it is, the build's complete. Now this battery is probably too big.